Hi guys, so on the latest snapshot 16W36 we saw another change to hoppers, and this time they finally got rid of an inconsistency. So up till 1.10 it would depend on the update order how long it takes an hopper to transfer an item. So it was locational, and it would either take 7 or 8 game ticks to transfer an item from one hopper to the next. And on average, it would take 7.5 game ticks per hopper. And this was finally changed, and now it takes 7 game ticks per hopper to transfer an item. So if I just throw something in here, then we have 30 hoppers in between, and on the right you see the tick counter counting up, and you will see it will take exactly 210 game ticks to transfer an item over 30 hoppers. So that's 7 on average. In my opinion, overall, this was a really good solution for the hopper problem, but as always, if timings get changed, some stuff might break. But overall, I think this change was for the better. So let's quickly go through what changes. For example, if you have a pair of hopper facing into each other and have just one item in there, then this was a 15 game tick clock. So you've got to get a signal every 15 game ticks in 1.10. And this changes in 1.11 because now it would take 14 game ticks in total. Each hopper takes 7 game ticks to transfer the item over. And you can also demonstrate it. So if you put a command block here, you can always see it would count up by 7, and it would do that on both sides. So also here by 7. But yeah, merging changed it in a nice way. So you can't really transfer an item every 7 game ticks now. So hopper is still limited by the old 8 game tick limit. For example, if you would try to fill up a dropper with items from 2 sides, you can see here the dropper always has the same amount of items in there. So it wouldn't overflow. It still takes 8 game ticks before hopper can work again. So here we have a 4 game tick clock attached to dropper. That's the fastest you can activate a dropper. So yeah, nice change. You can also see it here. If I would try to transfer 10 items, the tick clock would be on for 79 ticks. So the first item takes 7, and then all the consecutive ones take 8. So this breaks the least amount of stuff. And what also would work the same is the dropper hopper monostable. You always get a 7 game tick output from that, like in 1.10. So nothing changes here. Then this is something that kinda is broken now. In 1.10, this was a 8 game tick clock. So the hopper was the item was in the dropper for 6 game ticks and for 2 game ticks in the hopper, and this changes. Now the item is in the dropper for 6 game ticks as before, but 7 game ticks in the hopper. So it's an 13 game tick clock now. But this was really that wasn't used often. What else changes is the timings of the ease hopper clock would change slightly. So if you have a single item in there, of course, you get the same timings as with the pair of hopper. So it's a 14 game tick clock. And what's a little bit weird, if you put in 2 items, then you have a 20 game tick clock. And then each item after that would add 16 game ticks. So next is then 36 with 3 items, and 52 with 4 items, and so on. So this changes compared to 1.10. But normally those hopper clocks work with a large amount of items, and in the end probably doesn't matter if a stack of items in there, if it's 10 game ticks more or less. Also a nice change for the better is that those hopper clocks are no longer locational. So in 1.10 could happen that it would, for example, take 7 game ticks, 7 game ticks, 7 game ticks, and so on, and here would take 8 game ticks to transfer the item. And over here it could happen that it would take 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7. So one side would take a lot longer to transfer the items, and in 1.11 this gets fixed. So every hopper takes 7 game ticks each, and now those hopper clocks are no longer locational. And then they could be used, for example, in compact doors or wherever you need that stuff, and it's no longer locational. Okay, so those are all the changes I quickly tested in the snapshot. I'm also hoping that maybe hopper duping gets fixed, but it requires more testing, and at the moment I don't have time for that. And I also will look into other stuff that affects hoppers. But that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.